Okay, so I've done a video about this viability assessment that someone has done on me. It's very, very negative and just full of lies. But I believe that I'm Christ, and I've got a ton of evidence on my YouTube page that kind of, says this. And I don't just want to insult. Basically, I don't want to insult or criticize, but rather I feel like I would want to teach or just show people like how you should respond. So I've kind of basically gone through all the questions and responded in a way that if I was looking or if I came to visit someone like me, this is the sort of questions that these are the sort of response that I would give a person like myself. I'm going to be kind of, yeah, honest about how I feel. So they're not always good. But anyway, long-term commitment to the child, abilities to put their welfare their welfare first, even when conflicts and loyalty concern for the birth party. So for that, I would give myself 10 out of 10. Why? Because I've been trying for a child for 2 years. I obviously had a lot of commitment because I want a child for myself. I don't have any children, so it's not like I'm going to be sharing the commitment. Sometimes if you have your own children and then you foster or look after someone else's, you might be tempted to treat that child slightly differently. Or maybe if you want a child in the future and if you're with a partner, you might end up having that child and then you might start losing interest to it. But considering I'm asexual, considering I don't want a partner, or at least I do. If I had a partner, I would want one if they were like really, really smart or intelligent or blah blah blah, 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 like really like someone who is big. But yeah, I don't meet that kind of people, and I can't. If considering the situation that I'm in right now, I don't think I will ever have a partner. And I'm 36. I might not be able to have kids in 4 years' time, and it might not even I might not even be able to have kids now because I was trying for so long and it didn't work. But yeah, all these reasons are reasons why I would give myself why this question should be quite a high score. There's a lot of people that if you want a child and if you're if you would see this child or treat this child as your own, then of course you're able to make long-term commitments. I would love to go abroad and stuff like this, but I can only do that if I have a good job. And right now, I have like no qualifications or no build up of it, so I'm just doing massage. And based on my circumstance now, anyone would think that I'm just going to stay here, or if I'm just a normal person and this is the situation that I'm in, the chances of me going abroad is not likely. Why? Because I don't have visas, and I don't have a big long history of workload that would get me to get work over there and stuff like this. And so and plus I just like watching TV and just doing nothing all day. So all these reasons would be reasons why I would be able to commit to a child, because I don't have any other commitments, and it's likely that I'm not going to have any other commitments. So that this is the reason why I would say it would be 10 out of 10. If someone wants a child but has a partner, it's highly likely that she's going to get that child eventually, and therefore she might not be able to commit to fostering this child because you've got other commitments, whereas that's not likely to be the case. I'm also quite young, so I'm not likely to gain any health problems. If someone was 50 or over, long-term commitment might not be there. Why? Because you might not have a long future. Some people die when they're 60, and if you're already 50, then you might not be able to commit to 20 years or 18 years of a child's life because of health problems that might come. Whereas because I'm 36, I don't have any other commitments. I don't have a job that I love. I like massage, but I'm doing it more out of boredom. So, because I have no other commitments, this is the reason why it would be 10. Capacity to understand, adopt, and meet the child's needs and changing needs. Okay, I've given myself a 6 out of 10 for this. Why? Because I'm a single parent. I don't have a male figure, so the child is not going to have a male role model. If he's a boy, particularly, no, he's not going to be able to have a role model. I've got a couple of clients that I do consider friends, but I can't guarantee that we really are going to be that close, or that I don't know if that would be really a need is to have like a father figure, and I'm not going to be able to provide that. So that the hence why the low score. I live in Birmingham. There's a lot of things to do here, but you really need a car. I don't drive, so part of his needs could be to go out places and do lots of things, and I can do that by a bus, but it is the bus service in this area is not very good. So this would be reasons why I can't, not because I can't manage like toys and stuff like this, but yeah, a child does need to get out and do things, and I don't have transport, so that would hinder my ability to provide for needs. My dad drives, but he lives a very long way away, so again, not. And Also, I have a low income. I'm not on. I can earn 20,000 a year, but that's only if I'm like regularly seeing lots of people. And if I'm regularly seeing lots of people, well, the child is going to be put under more risk and more danger. So my income is going to be pretty low if I had a child, and so this would be a reason why I might not be able to meet the needs, because children's needs are, if they want to go to Disneyland, I guess it's not like an essential, but at the same time, I won't be able to provide like expensive holidays, and it's nice to go abroad, and I can go abroad, but yeah, I'll be on a budget. So because of this, I feel like it should be. And 6 is not low, but it's fairly it's low. It's low because of these factors, and high. I have a high level of communication and toys, but yeah, this is the reason why it should be 6, because I have a high. I'm good at communicating. I'm good at working things out. I have plenty of toys, but yeah, because of just me, because I'm a single parent, if I was to go shopping and stuff, I'd have to take the child with me. This would make things a little bit awkward, because then he might be to just stay in the house and not go out. But it's like, well, we need to get food and we need to come out, and maybe they want to go to nursery or stuff, but I can't really afford it right now. So, it is what it is. There's a lot of people in this situation. So understanding and acceptance of real reasons which lead to the child's removal from care. I would give myself 10 to understanding. Like, okay, I didn't know this a few weeks ago because I never seen my sister with a child, so I can understand why the person who gave the report would give a low understanding, because I didn't actually, I couldn't express a true, accurate result. But I know me, I analyze things way too much. I'm very good at working out exactly why things happen and the good and bad in it. And so, yeah, I would give myself a 10 out of 10 when it comes to understanding reasons as to why the child is not living with Sophie. In fact, I probably understand so much more than even the social workers know. So, but yeah, they're giving her a 15-week assessment, so I'm assuming that they will know the reasons. But yeah, I will know too, basically, and so because I will be able to, because I've seen it for myself, basically, and I might have even seen more things than they've seen. I don't know, but yeah, ability. I think because I have a high level of concern for the child, that I might be more picky than them. They might just be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's not that bad. Whereas I'd be like, well, I wouldn't do that, and stuff. So yeah, I'd probably be a little bit more picky, but I do understand the most concerning parts. Ability to protect the child from further harm. I give myself an 8. Why? Because I have a very low risk lifestyle. I don't drive. I think it's too risky. I don't really go out clubbing. I don't go out clubbing. I've been out once in like 5 years to Birmingham clubs, maybe twice in 5 years. But yeah, I don't really meet people. I don't trust people, so I don't get close to people. I try to keep to myself, and there aren't that many dangers in the house. Okay, there are like in the kitchen or something, like the kettle and stuff, but I don't really go into the kitchen that much, and I try to keep tidy. And yeah, I think I have a very low risk compared to most people who have to go out and do long. I have a very low risk kind of lifestyle. Okay, I do massage, and I know that is a risk, definitely. But if you knew the type of people that I get, most of them are professionals, who have children themselves. A lot of them are. Most of them are retired. Most I charge 60 an hour, so it's not like it's cheap. It's quite expensive, and the only type of people that can really afford £60 for a massage are people with too much money and who are retired. Occasionally, you get people that think it comes with more services or something, but I always make it very clear on the phone that I don't do that. But yeah, occasionally there's people that don't speak English very well and don't. So that's happened a few times, but it's still very low risk, because as soon as they work out that that's what you offer, then they just leave, and but yeah, it is very low risk. one of the worst client that I've had this year was someone who came in and wanted to smoke in the room, and he said it in a very, "Do you mind if I smoke?" And then he quickly got the cigarette out. No, 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 don't do that, don't do that. And then we had a half an hour session, and then afterwards I said, you can't have longer because I have another client. And then he went outside and told that guy that he was my boyfriend, and then that guy was scared because he was like, "Oh, what, you've got your boyfriend here?" And he's not my boyfriend. So literally, those are the kind of problems that I face. Not much. It's not hugely concerning, and but yeah, it's a little bit of a risk. I know that, but at the same time, it's much safer to know where your child is, to know that, if they're falling asleep for a few hours, the people that you get are not, they're not dangerous people. I don't do extras. And yeah, I shouldn't have to explain myself because, but yeah, I know that you might think it's more risky than it actually is. But if you knew it, if you knew the people, then you would see that it's low risk. So I have a very low risk um, lifestyle, really, because anything you do, you can walk across the street or whatever, and you constantly, like, even with nurseries, a lot of my clients do have kids, which means that they get walking in and out of nurseries and stuff. And well, if you think that they're a danger, well, they're just as much a danger anywhere else in the streets or anywhere else in society and stuff. But yeah, um, capacity to be realistic about possible problems, special needs, and stuff like this. I would say I've given myself 9 out of 10 because I analyze things very, very deeply, and I can always see, like, I analyze things way too much that if there are a list of problems, I will probably see most of them. Okay, I won't get everything. I'm sure there's some things that I don't have. I don't have a much. Maybe I should probably be an 8. It might be an 8 actually. I'll put it at 8 actually because I don't have huge amount of. I don't have a huge amount of experience with a kid, so I might not be able to see problems straight away because you learn how to do things. If you had 2 children, you'd probably find that you do things a lot differently with your second child because of the things that you learned from the first child. I know that if I had a child, I'm definitely going to have a bunch of powdered milk on the side just in case breastfeeding doesn't work because it didn't work the first time. So you learn from experience, and because I haven't had any experience, I guess that would be a possible. Maybe I'll be a little bit flawful is in not seeing things, but I'd still give myself a very high rating. Why? Because I'm very good at learning from experiences. And if I make one mistake, I will always remember that mistake, and hence it won't be a problem again. So, whereas a lot of people can make the same mistake over and over and over again, and they just never learn or anything. So, I'm a quick learner basically, and I would give myself an 8 out of 10 because of things like this. And also I have a huge knowledge in mental illness or identifying different mental illnesses or identifying dyslexia or things like this. And I have an interest in psychology and things like this. So I think I'd be quite good at working out problems. I'm very good at problem solving and coming up with solutions. Capacity. I can't. This capacity. I don't like that word. Ability. Can I say ability? Ability. Capability. Capacity. I'm sure it says capacity. Capacity. Capability to offer warm, stimulating care. I would much prefer the word capability. I think that's 10 out of 10. Why? Because the idea of having a child just is like so amazing and so like it's such a nice thought, and I think I'd be really, really, really caring to. Well, I believe that I'm Christ. I believe that I'm God. Of course, I'm going to have a very high score for this one. I think to say that I'm not going to have a high score is just to prove that you don't really know me. Okay, I can be quite cold towards some people, but you can't be cold towards a baby because they're innocent and they're okay. They might have not been innocent in their past lives, but they're cute and yeah. If you look at the My Boy Lollipop on my Instagram thing, you would see that I'm very caring. Okay, but I also have personality as well. So and I can be aggressive if I feel people are being aggressive towards me. But yes, a child is not aggressive. He cries because of needs that he needs to be met and stuff. And I'm very I can't say I'm good with kids because I haven't had that much experience with kids, but I love the thought of looking after this baby, and I know that I did a very good job. And if you saw how I was in the hospital, you would definitely agree. commitment to helping the child develop and understanding the history of and promote a positive identity, including ethnic and cultural identity. I give myself a 4 out of 10 on this one because I don't know anything about the father, and I don't know anything about the father's family. I don't know anything about Portugal. I don't speak Portuguese. His family mostly don't speak much English, so there's going to be a bit of a communication barrier. I'm very happy to meet them and get to know them. But yeah, there is also an added complication, which is that I have this belief that in my past life I had a kid with something, kid with a semi-evolved monkey. I too was a semi-evolved monkey, but whatever. He died and rose again in my stomach, and this is where the sort of Jesus character that the Bible, talks about the Father and the Son being the same person. That's where I believe the inspiration for that came from. And I think my sisters copied me. Why? Because Thomas died when I went to go and visit Jesus in Ibiza. So I've got a strong belief that it might be, he might be actually him. The boy might actually be Thomas reincarnated. Christ is supposed to raise people from the dead, and well, I think he's an example of this. But yeah, you don't raise them in full grown bodies. You raise them in like babies' bodies. But yeah. That might add quite a bit of a complication. I think his family are Catholic. My parents used to be Christian, but I don't really know what they are now. And I have quite a large despisal of Christianity because I think it's a religion that's actually about me, but people don't know it, and a lot of people would deny it because they have, like the Bible says, complete lack of understanding towards what God, what God says is good, and everything that's all written about the Bible about people who aren't Christian are actually things that are written about Christians, and their lack of understanding towards my telling of how I see the Bible. But yeah, because of that, I put it quite low because he was. If the baby grows up to want to be a Catholic, fine, but I will be a little bit like, oh, you believe in Jesus. Okay, that's not very good. But yes, he can believe whatever he wants. If he wants to believe in Jesus, then fine. I think Jesus is code for Jesus, as in everyone in the world. So, I believe in. Do I believe in people? I want to believe in people. I want to believe that they can be better. So it's good to believe in Jesus because I feel like that's just code for believing in everyone and believing that they can be better. But yeah, I don't believe Jesus is God. Humans are not God. But anyway, so yeah, I probably scored low on that. So that one's, but whatever. Ability to deal with strain, changing roles of family. I don't think there have been any changing roles in family. I'm the head of the family. I've always have been. Okay, Sophie is a bit headstrong and doesn't. We don't always agree on things. But yeah, I can cope with strains. I kind of give myself 8 out of 10, just because I know whatever happens, my head will be set in whatever I believe. Hence, I will try not to cause. I'm stressed out about a lot of things, and yeah, I'm always stressed out about my family, but I seem to always cope and challenge. Like, it's stressful, but I always seem to cope. But I don't know, at the end of the day, I'm not too loyal to my sister. So if the child goes with her, I'm happy. If they think the child is safe with her, then that's great, and I'm glad, and I'm not going to be bothered. I'm going to be glad that the child is safe. If the child's not safe and they say that we shouldn't see him, then okay, I'm happy with that too. But I feel like whatever the change is, it's fine. And likewise, there's a chance, there's a small chance that the people, the family in Madeira want to are happy to look after the child, and if that's the best, I don't know what's going to happen. I believe that I'm Christ, so maybe I am going to go to America, and maybe they think that because I don't think I'm going to be particularly safe. There's going to be a lot of people that probably want me dead when I start promoting that I'm Christ and telling people that Jesus is the Antichrist and I'm the real one. I'm not really, might not be able to keep myself safe. I should be able to look after a child, yes, but I know it comes that there is a lot of things will change. So, but I have to. I'm doing this test based on if none of that's real and if I'm just here. But yeah, if people think that it's better off, the child is better off there, I do think he is Thomas in his past life. So if he wants to go back to his family, his old family, I'm okay with that too. So I just, as long as the child's safe, I'm okay. I'll press stop now because it's getting quite long, but I'll do 2 videos on this.